Hey y'all, welcome to episode 25 of the LOWBAT podcast. We're a quarter of the way to 100. That's pretty cool to say. On this week's episode, we have a first for this show. We welcome in podcasting colleagues Shelby Imes and Erin Kirkpatrick from the On the Lawn podcast. This was a super fun episode where we chat about their early days in radio, how super creepy their original podcast location was, and we truly test their friendship with an interesting card game. Be sure to check out their podcast as well, available on your favorite streaming platforms. As always, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell us what you think about this episode.
You are now listening to the LOWBAT podcast,
a weekly show highlighting members of our local creative community and featuring topical conversations with members of the LOWBAT production team. We're your hosts, Casey House
and Fabian Castaneda. Through our own experiences as musicians, visual artists, and business owners, we saw an opportunity to provide a platform for people just like us to deep dive into what it's like to pursue a lifestyle outside of the norm.
Without further ado, welcome to the LOWBAT podcast.
I think one time we just need to count how many throat clears.
So what I'm hoping is that there's going to be a like, you know how Hot Ones has, I forget the dude's name, but there's that dude that's like a mega fan that has like a list and...
I don't
know.
I just know the host, and I can't even remember his name.
Daddy Sean Evans.
Yeah, shouts out Sean Evans. Be on our podcast. But they have a dude that like ranks all the episodes, and he's like really involved in it. I'm hoping there's somebody that just has a tally, either now or one day when we're like 100 episodes in, just goes back because I clear my throat a lot. It's just a thing I do. Anyways, hey, hi, what's up, everybody? You already know what this is. You clicked on the video. We have awesome guests today, though. We have Shelby and Erin from the On the Lawn podcast, yes, and also from We're With the Band,
mm-hmm, yes,
which I really want to ask about. So
we'll get to that.
Bring it on.
Yeah,
I want to start with that personally.
Ooh.
I mean, like, I don't know.
I always start with the like. Let's start from the beginning. I always say something like that. So that's what I'm going to do here.
Tell us where this all began.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning. Was that the first thing you guys worked on together, or was there like...
That was it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Screw that.
Go farther back.
Where'd you guys meet?
Yeah, it's like there's
Tell
so
me
much
that.
more we
Where'd
can
you guys
find
meet?
out.
We met at a radio station.
Yes.
Because we both worked there. And so we were coworkers.
Yeah, that's how we met. And
working promotions.
Yeah, we were working
Those were the
promotions.
days.
And I think, Shelby, you were there for like a minute before we really ever hung out.
Well, I was an intern,
Yeah,
and then I went back to school, and then I graduated and came back.
So I hadn't worked like a ton of events with you, but then I started to work some, and I was like, oh, she's kind of cool. And then one night I was like, yo, my friends are going out to the oceanfront. Like,
oh no, please.
I was like,
no.
you should come meet us. And so we were at Waterman's. Like, I was just starting the night, you know, so we're getting some drinks with my friends, and Shelby texts, she's like, I'm here. She rolls up and is definitely on a different level than I am.
Stop!
It wasn't bad.
Break that down a little bit. What do you mean on a different level?
She just had a few more drinks than I had at
Hell
that
yeah.
point, and I was like, wow, okay, like, I gotta speed up, I guess. But she was really breaking out the dance moves.
Okay.
No, but I was impressed because
It's like, what else are you supposed to do?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
She actually had, like, moves. Like, it wasn't, like, cringy
I'll take it.
dancing. Like, she was killing it. And I was like, wow.
Thank you. Yeah, that night was a disaster after we separated. 2018 was just a rough year.
Oh, yeah, we did separate at some
Yeah.
point. But after that, I was like, okay, I like her.
Yeah,
Like,
then
this is cool.
We hung out after that.
Yeah.
Well, we were working promotions. We both really wanted to be on air. And radio is just, old school, like, radio, like, actually on the radio is not really...
Well, there's not many opportunities.
It's really hard to get any kind of upward mobility. So we kind of just were hanging out one night at the Shack, I think, and we, like, came up with the idea.
Well,
right?
So we had talked about doing something creative.
It all happened at bars. We brainstormed this whole thing while we were out.
Alcohol is our creative juice.
Yeah.
Gotta have something.
But, I think we like talked about doing something while we were at the Shack, and then one night we went to Grain, and we brought like it wasn't like, oh, we're going to grain night. Like we brought like paper and pencils and shit, and we're like writing down ideas. And it originally started as an idea for the radio station we were working at as a late night show. That's where this originally started, and then long story short, it morphed into what you guys ended up seeing as We're with the Band.
Yeah.
The radio stuff makes sense too. My friend, I think you know him. I don't know if you, Chris Battle. I think you guys have crossed paths at some point. It doesn't matter. He worked at a radio station.
Okay. Okay.
I don't remember which one.
I might not know him by his last name. I
think he C Battle or something was his. He eventually got on air because he was doing promotions. Then he was doing like the morning show, and he had all these things that he wanted to do and all these ideas that I was like, those are all really good ideas. They sound like new age, like YouTube and things that make sense. Because like radio is
to progress
doing what it's doing.
More.
It's falling off a little bit, and so it's like, okay, what else needs to happen? And they just refused. They were like, nope, we won't. Dang. And the crazy thing was they had all the infrastructure needed to do, because it's like you do radio shows already. You can do all this stuff, just like get some cameras, get some sets, do some stuff.
Well, it's hard because a lot of radio stations are owned by giant corporations that don't really want to take the risks sometimes, even though radio really feels local, and it is in a lot of ways. It's really hard for them to like.
There's a lot of things that they have to still adhere to and like play certain stuff. Like you know, we can't play this, but we can keep playing this, and we have to follow these guidelines when it comes to just the different things that we produce. And I mean, in a lot of cases, you know, some people in radio are kind of just like stuck in their like rhythm, which to them has worked for decades, which makes sense. But I definitely think it's time to like amp it up and, you know, do more podcasting and stuff. And I think they're slowly coming around to it. They are, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
I think the video content is what changes it. Like radio, like just nobody really like turns on the radio in their cars anymore. So having like, but podcasts are booming.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a reason for that, which isn't just the video. Obviously, if you're driving, probably shouldn't have a video on, but there's just a different energy. There's a different thing. It's like I really like podcasts that are more like a show than are like an interview. I don't really like just like I have pre-written even though I did that for a while and everybody hated it. But like I did that for it was, they weren't supposed to be questions. They were supposed to be like topics. And then
I don't think that's a bad thing though. Like I think it's good to be prepared. It's good to have those at a minimum in your back pocket in case, you know, you just start blanking or things just aren't maybe going the way you want. So you're like, all right, well, I'll just shift because I know like they're going to answer these. Yeah, maybe.
That's definitely good for preparation. I think the main lure for podcast versus radio is like on radio you're supposed to be accessible to everyone in your local area, so your stuff has to be kind of broad in a way. With a podcast you can really niche it and kind of people will search for you and will enjoy the podcast for what you're trying to put out instead of just having something on the ambience and stuff like that.
Also live. I think often radio shows are live.
Yes.
And they don't get really recorded and re-released that often. Maybe I'm wrong, but they don't seem like they are.
Some segments.
Yeah, they're like with all intents and purposes, they're live. A lot of it is like pre-recorded, but like it's never like re-aired, like you're saying.
Yeah. And it's like, well, having that be somewhere where it can stay and people can choose to watch it, because everybody's like attention spans are so short now, and having things be on demand is what's needed. Like
podcast is radio on demand, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's fun. So you guys, I should try that. The like alcohol. I just use anxiety and depression.
I should try alcohol.
Yeah.
Like for just all of my ideas, I just like get sad and then I start writing stuff down to try to like think of ideas, or I get anxious. Maybe substances.
I think everyone has their different fuel.
Well, also,
so to speak.
I think we were also at a place like I won't paint like any like mental stuff onto you or anything, but I mean, we were both at a place where we were like, we have to do something.
Yeah,
like,
we were getting
a little like, it just felt really stagnant, and we were like
out a little bit in a sense.
And we were just, we have to do something new. Like, it's hard doing the same thing, feeling like you're not going anywhere.
We needed something, and like once we realized that we had like our ideas kind of meshed, and we could really bounce things off each other. I think that's when we were like, okay, we started to get a little more excited, and we're like, we really should do something. Like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think we even, going back to We're with the Band, I don't even think we even realized what we got ourselves into until we recorded the first episode, and I will never forget. The band left, and we're in the house. We're like, "Oh my god, we just did it!
That went so well. We're freaking out." And granted, like the first episode, like the first season, it kind of sounded like shit. Like the audio was bad, but like
we went in basically knowing nothing technical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were learning on the fly.
Yeah, and we had a family friend of mine,
Raheem Shaw, you can find him at Island Boy Raw on Instagram and YouTube.
I think TikTok. He's blown up on YouTube and TikTok. He's the guy at the ocean front that walks around and asks people questions, and they sound really doesn't look good for America, to be honest.
But it's entertaining.
Noted, I'll avoid him.
Yeah,
it's entertaining.
I love him, and he's so talented. But he did all the camera work and all of the special video effects and whatever we needed done that first season.
It was just insane. You three?
Yes. Well, really? And his brother would tag along, Shane. Shane is a musician, goes by Shane Cobain. You can check him out too. But Shane would be there like all the time just as like moral support.
he would just be like a hype man, or in one episode he actually did fall asleep.
He snored?
We were like, wait.
We had to cut that part because you could hear like snoring in the background while we were interviewing.
Who was there when that happened?
It was Bennett Wales in the release.
Oh, it was Bennett Wales.
That's amazing.
Bennett and Drew were there, and Shane was like parked up. This is, I guess you might ask us about the trap house, but this was at the trap house, and he's like parked up in the corner in this like fuzzy chair that we had in case we needed it, and I got comfy. It happens, you know.
Yeah, it's a comfy chair. Yeah.
Well, I think like that's a really good like sentiment to have, though, is like you guys basically had creative things you wanted to do, but you had energy, but you didn't know how to do anything with it at the time. You brainstormed and you said, this is something that sounds really fun and we want to do it, and then you did it. Like you actually just figured out how to do it.
Yeah, we were like, there's no going back now. Like we did it.
Yeah.
We're sticking with it, I guess.
Yeah, and a lot of it was like, well, with that particular thing, we like ran into a couple of our musician friends who we told them the idea, and they're like, yeah, you should totally do that. And that's when we were like, maybe this isn't a dumb idea. Like, we should totally do it.
I mean, I'm sure it's the same for you, but they really gave us the confidence to actually go through with this, because we're like, okay, wait, you guys are actually musicians. You're in a band. Once again, we were drunk at a bar. We ran into them, and we're like,
a recurring theme.
And they were like, how about this? Let's sit down and let's do a fake one right now. And so we kind of were just like bouncing off these questions that we had briefly brainstormed or whatever, and they were like, no, this is really fun. Like, you guys should definitely do it.
And they ended up being the first band that we interviewed, Wild Truth.
Yep. Shout out to them.
So and they're like really doing great now. They just released an
fantastic
EP. Yeah. If you haven't checked them out.
We had Beasley on a little bit ago. Then scheduling is awful, but we've talked about getting Wild Truth to come hang out too.
They're
great
so
guys,
super fun, really nice, very talented.
I want to know about this trap house. I want to know. So like, but like, I want to know about the conception of it. So you guys had the idea. You were like, all right, we need a place to do this. How'd you get there? What happened?
So at the time, Shelby and I were both living at our parents' house, but I had just recently moved out of my house in Norfolk, which my parents had owned. I was, paying rent to them. My roommates were paying rent to them, but they were renovating it to sell it because it was a very old house. So I was like, you know what? I mean, it's not great, but we could use it. And so we went in and we took, literally the whole house is just construction stuff everywhere.
There's tarps over everything. There's no
paint,
furniture.
Yeah,
oh,
nothing.
Man.
Yeah.
So we walk in and we took it's a kind of awkwardly shaped living room, but as you saw, there's the wood paneling in the background. So we're like, I think this is the spot. It kind of looks like a basement vibe. We'll just put band posters up, give you that kind of...
It looked like a set.
Yeah.
Like it fully looked like a set.
We tried to make it look like a set.
Yeah, and then we got really lucky because the station that we both still worked at the time had this cheetah print couch that they were getting rid of.
Dave was going to throw it away, and I was like, I'll take it.
Erin was like, can I have it?
Yeah.
So that we just got that for free, and everything else we kind of just threw together. Like a lot of the posters, we bought some from this FYE store that was being liquidated.
So they had big sales, or some of it was just stuff that we had already had our table came from a thrift store.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I think we painted it. Yeah, we did paint the table.
Yeah, we spray painted it, and then we spray painted over it. That table, I don't know how much longer. We still have it.
We still have it.
Yeah.
We're covering it in stickers now.
Yeah, but I just felt so bad. Yeah, I felt so bad for the bands that would come there, like, because
that's sketch.
At this point, we didn't have a YouTube channel set up. We had no credibility to our name at all, and
but
we
would still just were like, yeah, we're down.
They would show up and like,
oh yeah, you guys. Yeah. So you guys recorded the first season before releasing any episodes.
Oh
yes.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yes. Yeah, that's a totally different thing.
We hadn't done anything on social media. I think we had alluded. We had a photo shoot to do promo stuff, and we had kind of alluded that we're dropping something, but we hadn't released anything yet. And then I think a week later we were like, hey guys, this is what we're up to. If you were wondering, this is what we're doing. Episodes coming.
Here's the set list.
Yeah.
Our set list is like the list of the bands that we have for that season, because we go by seasons. But
I don't even want to say bands, artists in general, just mostly ends up being bands.
Yeah, because we have some individual artists too. But yeah, it was honestly a huge risk looking back. Like,
oh yeah.
But after the first one, we're like,
we got so pumped.
We have to do this.
Excited.
Yeah.
And actually, so there's a funny story. There was one night that we were getting ready to record, and I got to the house first.
Oh my God.
This was so scary.
My friend Nia.
Yes. So our friend Nia, who also worked at the station with us, but she's a local DJ, it was her episode. And so I think we had to push it back regardless. Like something happened. We had to push it back.
She had to push it back.
Yeah, she had to push it back like an hour or something. So I got in. I walk in the house. They had the construction workers like moved everything, covered it with tarps. And I was like,
including our set. Like they moved our set around.
And I was like, what the hell? They had strict instructions not to touch that area. So I'm working on putting things back. And all of a sudden I hear a phone ring. And I keep my phone on vibrate. I just don't like hearing the stuff. So I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, I know that's not my phone. So my heart stops and I'm like, this house is dark. I'm by myself. People have been in and out of this house. I'm like, what the fuck? So I think I called Shelby and I was like, Shelby, where are you? And she was like, I'm like 10 minutes. Actually, I think you might have been like 20 minutes out. You were not close yet. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm walking around. It rings again. And I was like, fuck this. I dropped everything, grabbed my shit. I sat in my car, locked the doors. And I was like, okay, what is going on? Waited for her. Move. She gets in and I was like, Shelby, you won't believe what had happened. Because I had music going. I was fine. Whatever.
Pretty sure you made me go in first.
Yeah,
you were going to sacrifice me to whatever was
I did.
Still
I was like,
in there.
no, I'm not going in. And I think the phone rang again, and I found it, and it was in a cabinet in the kitchen.
It was like a construction worker had left his phone behind.
Yeah.
He put it like in a drawer?
Yeah. And but she was thinking that someone was in the house.
I thought someone was in the house, and I was like, oh my God, am I going to die? Like, this is not where I want to die.
It was a sketchy place to be.
Yeah. Did you call the person back?
Well, we answered. I think when Raheem got in, we answered it.
Yes.
And Raheem took the phone.
And Raheem has like a really thick, like Jamaican accent. So like, I don't know. I don't think the guy who was calling was expecting to hear that.
He has a very weird sense of humor too. Like I love him, but he's so strange. And he picked up the phone and the guy was like, hey, can I meet you to get the phone? He was like, no, we're actually getting ready to go to New York, so we're going to leave it in the mailbox. Bye. And I was like, what?
It's very random.
Yeah.
Very random.
Like, even though you guys were going to stay there. And
yeah, no. He just said we were leaving for New York.
That's so much worse because then the dude drives over there pissed off.
Well, we did it.
Checks the mailbox and it's not in the mailbox.
He did it when we left.
Okay.
So I think
we did put it in the mailbox.
Yeah, we did put it in the mailbox.
Okay.
But we're like, Raheem, what? Like, New York? He was like, I don't know. That guy could, like, come murder you or something. So, you know.
He could have.
He could have.
Sure.
I mean, fair. Yeah.
It was very,
It was weird. Anyways, it was a very scary story.
But yeah, that was the trap. That was where we were bringing people over.
Season 1.
What like did you have any shows or anything like that was like inspiration for wanting to do that kind of a show? I know you mentioned late night. Was there like somebody specific?
Hot Ones. We both were like, Hot Ones is fun because it was kind of the same idea of what we were going for in the sense that it's a different kind of interview, like a they're eating wings, and our point was like, let's play drinking games and let's ask questions that once again, God, we look really good right now.
Do we have a problem? Not so much anymore, but back in the day,
it's just casual. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. But yeah, no, we wanted like I don't want to use the word gimmick, but like something that could carry the show that wasn't just like
it's a gimmick.
Yeah, like we
no, but
a
like,
gimmick. It's gimmicky.
You need
but
that. Everybody needs their thing.
Yeah,
we
it's
needed
like, Hot Ones
something.
Is a gimmick, but Hot Ones is incredible.
Yeah, we need something different. We didn't want to ask like your typical questions that you would hear in normal interviews
that
with
the
other
artist
musicians.
has already heard 1,000 times.
Exactly. Like we just wanted, because kind of I would say like the end goal for this, in a sense, was to eventually interview bigger artists and like still highlight the local music scene, but we wanted to reach a further audience.
We were on the way with that. COVID got in our way.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it was fun. Like, I mean, even to have a bunch of local artists, it was really cool because we got to like kind of, you know, step into this community and really just kind of like highlight them in a way that they hadn't been highlighted before. Like, my mom is like a huge fan of Wild Truth.
Good ass band.
Which more people than my mom like them, but it's just like a cool way that they can be highlighted. That
and
isn't
they had
really
fun too, and I think that helped us because if they were kind of reciprocating the excitement and the energy, and you know they're telling us, "Oh my God, we had a great time," blah blah blah. That made us feel good too because we're like, okay, so we're not just like wasting our own time and their time, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely have felt the same way with this. Like the reasoning was similar of like something is lacking.
Yeah.
This doesn't exist, at least in like a decent format here.
Yeah.
So how do we provide something that we can, you know, help the community, help the local, not just music, but like everybody.
Yeah.
And I guess, so you guys saw that same sort of a issue or like, you know, thing to a place where you guys could fit in and help. And you feel like, at least personally, I've felt really lame sometimes asking certain people, and then they end up being so appreciative, and it's like, it's because this doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, oh, I don't have any reason to talk to, or like, I don't deserve to talk to you, but they're like, no, I want to. And it's such a cool
It definitely
feeling.
Doing this, because I think that first season we're definitely like, I don't want to say like hesitant to reach out to people, but we had a lot more like, oh God, I'm nervous. Like, I don't
we
want
also
to reach
had
out
nothing.
to them.
Yeah, we also had nothing to show for it at that point. So it was really
right,
because
you guys had no content yet.
Yeah,
no content. It was just like people had to take us on our word.
A lot of it was people too that we
had
in some degree knew.
Yeah.
Like either we've met them once before or something,
or
like,
the bands that we had interviewed had like given their like, okay, we did this. It was cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
You should go and do it. And that then we released season 1, and it was. I mean, it was like really cool. I feel like we got a pretty warm reception to it generally.
Yeah. No, I think season 1 was. It's funny looking back because obviously once we did season 2, we're like, oh God, that was so bad on season 1.
Yeah, season 2 we leveled up a little bit, but yeah, in terms of like production, yeah.
So now you guys have moved on to the On the Lawn podcast.
Yes.
So that's what you guys are mainly focusing on right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell me about the conception of that and the other people that are involved that couldn't be here, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm just curious about what led you guys to, as fellow podcasters, what led you guys to also want to do a podcast?
Well,
yay! I'm glad we get to talk about it
Yeah,
because this is something we're doing like right
currently.
Now. Yeah. Well, like with On the Lawn, we had to stop when we were with the band right before we were about to start shooting season 3.
I was so mad
because COVID hit literally like March when we were about to start filming for season 3, and we had so much lined up for that summer. Like we were gonna have the opportunity to interview some like really big bands at this festival. Like it just sucked. So we had to stop that. And then we started talking, and we were like, well, we still want to do something. Like we obviously have to put We're With the Band on hold right now during the summer. And so we started talking, and we were like, what if we just do like, you know, music news that's kind of funny. Our friend Jeremy, who is our co-host.
Yep.
We also worked with him at the radio station.
Nice.
And
All the connections.
We know everyone through the station.
Yeah, we thought of him because he's like, if you listen to our show, he's got a great voice. He's hilarious. We all just really jive together. And Mike, our producer, also works at the station. Like, he is a producer at the station, and he's an on-air person at the station. And
he's amazing.
He's so good. So every time we record, we package it up and send it to him, and he makes it sound great. So, yeah.
He takes off a lot of bullshit that we talk about.
Takes off a lot of the fat there.
We've talked about doing cuts, but I think we've only cut something out of one episode, and it was like it was like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it was everything else is just like record,
just live,
and send out.
We just go off on tangents, and then next
we
thing
love
you know,
tangents
it's
here.
been like 10 minutes of us still talking about this thing that really isn't even at the point of what we were originally talking about.
Yeah,
and then we're just
favorite.
like, Mike, cut this.
Yeah, but
whenever we had a ring out on, like 40 minutes of that podcast, we talked about food. And it was amazing. That was one of the most fun episodes that we've recorded.
And then a burger was thrown on set, so I mean, like, it was great.
Oh, well.
He did eat a burger.
Wait,
that was
did you
thrown
bring that for us? We don't
he,
get burgers?
He brought his own burger.
So if he would have supplied you a burger, we could have thrown it at you.
Panda and
thought
JJ
about
got
it.
Pop-Tarts. I
Damn
can give you guys Pop-Tarts.
You got a toaster?
I do have a toaster. I will do it right. I will get up right now and let you guys vamp.
This is all Shelby. If she
I
wants
won't stop you.
Pop-Tart.
Go make
I'm
them a
gonna make all
Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tarts.
We're getting
Look at
Pop-Tarts.
this.
Water and popped and warm Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
Are we queens? I don't know.
I think we are. I think we probably are.
But I can imagine, like, because I feel like your show is a little bit more structured. You have segments,
Yeah.
it seems like.
We
Yeah.
definitely structured it more like a show than just a casual conversation piece. We still wanted a casual tone to it, but we like the idea of having little segments or little like bits that we might throw in every other episode or something like that.
Yeah.
Which we really haven't actually done that many of them, but
We did do one that was kind of funny though. Why'd you say that? That we created a
saying
song
that-
for.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
We did it because like Ted Nugent
Said
said
some real
something
dumb
dumb.
shit.
He-
Shocker.
Yeah, he
I know,
asked
right?
he asked where COVID 1 through 18 was
Yeah.
or something, or why there wouldn't be a COVID 20 or something like that.
Yeah, it just was pretty like, just why'd you say, like, why?
Why did you say
Why?
that? Why was that said?
Who let you say that? See, that's the real
Exactly.
question. You
Well-
probably had some people that are just like, hey, probably now.
His team's probably just
No,
sitting
dude.
there, like, head in their hands, like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah.
Ted, just do you. Whatever.
You know, they just gotta put him in front of a camera and just say go.
And then, like, a
Just
week
go.
later, he got COVID. So,
Yeah, in a
you know,
in the greatest
The
display of irony.
world works in crazy ways.
crazy,
Yeah.
mysterious ways. So
Um,
wild.
yeah, so, yeah, I've had an opportunity to listen to a couple of your podcasts. I
Thank
like 'em.
you.
And I do agree that Jeremy is, like, made for radio.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
he sounds great.
His voice is perfect.
But one thing I wanted to mention is like a lot of the, so with the your original podcast, I'm on with the band, mostly local talent, probably branching out. With this podcast, I hear a lot more top 40 and mainstream things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Is
definitely.
that just a focus that you guys wanted to choose?
We did. Umber with the band was very much local band centered. It was all about the individual artists that we were talking to at the time. Because it's questions for them, they can answer whatever. This was something like, okay, what's going to grab more people? Like, of course, we want to talk about local music, but
And
also.
we do.
You
And
still have a spotlight, yeah?
Yeah.
We still, because each week we play a song from like a local artist or an up and coming artist. So we still wanted to. That's really important to
incorporate
us.
that
We
somehow.
Yeah, every episode we have like a new song from a local artist. But yeah, I mean, it's just we wanted, because with the podcast, we're not interviewing people because the whole purpose was for us at the, in the COVID times to like avoid contact with people. So it was like an avenue for us to be able to have conversation and just like give our take on different things happening in the music world.
Yeah, we just wanted to focus on something a little bit broader that more people
They're
can.
broke, kind of, but
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Oh, they're warm.
yeah, you guys said you wanted them toasted.
Yes.
And they're, what
my
is this,
God.
the cinnamon ones?
Wow, two
The-
broke queens over here. What?
Wow.
I hope
Yeah.
everybody enjoyed the part of the podcast without me.
Did you get a
They
nice
loved it.
shot of the...
Yeah, I realized I was like, I'm not gonna call them Pop-Tarts. I already did, but I was like, I'm not gonna do that again. Then I realized, hey, Pop-Tarts,
Sponsor us.
sponsor us,
please.
Hey, they look beautiful. They smell great.
They do a little cool off.
Yeah,
And then we'll go in
burn
on
your
them.
mouth.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt with the Pop-Tarts. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. Fabian was holding it down over
Yeah.
here.
Thanks, Fabian.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I think we were just talking about the
topics that we do.
the topics and stuff. Yeah, we just want to keep it kind of general and a little more broad so more people can, I don't want to say identify with it, more so like just
jump
be
right
interested in
Yeah.
it. And we didn't want to completely shut it just to like rock stuff, even though that tends to be what we talk about a lot, but not everything. I think we're getting a little bit of everyone's taste of music. You can tell where people get their news from.
I think I always try to bring in like the top 40 stuff
do.
because you and Jeremy are bringing in like the like rock focus.
Yeah.
Stuff. But
So,
Is that what you mostly listen to?
Yeah, I rock, metal, you know.
Who would you say you're listening to the most right now? That's a question for both of you guys. Actually, for Fabian too. I don't know what.
Okay, I'll answer in a second. I'll let them
Right
go
now, Royal Blood for sure.
Never heard of Royal Blood before.
Their recent album Typhoons is phenomenal, and it's been added to my perfect albums list.
Whoa, you have a perfect albums list?
Yes.
All right, well, we'll get to that.
Oh, yes.
Shelby.
I don't know. Well, I can't even say. I have a pretty broad range. I wouldn't say I listen to top 40 like exclusively, but Isaiah Rashad just released a new album, so I've been listening to that because I've been waiting
Also
for
never
so
heard of it.
long for another album.
I'm very uncultured musically, I guess, because every time somebody comes on here and like names a band or an artist, I'm like,
Oh, well, do you like rap?
I don't dislike rap. I don't listen to rap that much. It's
Oh,
probably like the second least I listen to. Well, no, because I was thinking country, but country I listen to I don't listen to country at all. I just like country comes on, I turn it off.
No one's blaming you.
yeah. So this is something we can all agree on.
I do like some rap though. Just
Yeah. Isaiah Rashad is a rapper, so
Okay.
you might like this album. The Sun's Tirade came out like a long time ago. He hasn't released music since, so everyone's really hyped about this new album, and it's very good.
Did anybody write both of those down? If not, any of the 20 people here, could somebody write that down? No. All right.
No.
I'll remember when
You'll
I listen.
have to remember.
We'll listen back.
I'll listen to the episode.
We're
again.
not going to give you
Fair.
hints. So.
I always got to give myself one view, so I always watch the podcast.
And have a
We do
meeting
the
with Tyler in HR.
Fabian, what are you listening to?
You might appreciate this. Been listening to a lot of Bring Me the Horizon.
Okay, yeah, me
It's
too.
because I
This one over here.
really
Big fan.
Well, you know, which era?
well.
She has
Here's the thing,
opinions.
Man.
Here's the thing, because
Okay.
we and Casey both believe last year the best release was Survivor
Posthuman.
Horror.
I think
Posthuman,
that was
yeah.
the best.
Like that was the best release of last year. I went back and just decided to listen to Sempiternal and That's the Spirit, just
Mhm.
basically on a loop for the past like week.
That's been
And,
me for a while. Yeah.
That's
Anything
Yeah.
before? Well, so there's all right. This controversial statement, but before Sempiternal, there's only one song that I care about, and everything else just doesn't do it for me.
Oh my God. Okay.
And
I might leave.
yeah, which
Well,
is fair.
damn.
We did talk about that happening before we started. But yeah, I just there's some I don't know. There's something about it that just doesn't do anything for me. Sempiternal is like half a phenomenal album, half
Yeah.
it really lacks. That's the Spirit. I think underrated, phenomenal album. And then Ammo is I have to be in the mood, but if I'm in the mood, I really like it. But
Yeah.
Posthuman was so fucking good. Every song on that EP was incredible.
Teardrops, when that came out, I was like, whoa.
I actually was thinking about this like literally yesterday. Teardrops might be the song.
Not for me.
No, like for like I understand for you, but like if Bring Me the Horizon
It
like
doesn't matter.
Fuck you,
Shut
Casey.
up.
if Bring Me the Horizon continues to release music, like that will still be the song that will be played for eternity.
I think
I hope not.
oh, wow.
It's a good song. I love Teardrops, but in an album with such good songs, every song is like a
But
9
the
or a 10.
digestibility of that
Yeah.
song,
Sure, but that's not why.
and
I
that's
listen to Bring Me
why
the
it's
Horizon.
been on Octane's top for like since it dropped.
Well, I'm not,
and it's been
Octane.
over a year.
So, Kingslayer, Forever. That song is so. That song, that's the only song that will like get me out of my seat. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm in an anime.
It's like the intro music for any
so
anime.
it is the intro music for an anime, and it gets me so excited.
I mean,
if you like a
yeah. What
Go ahead.
are you gonna say? You're eating, so why don't you
Enjoy your Pop-Tart.
okay,
We're talking.
I was
to
curious
him right
about
now.
the
I was gonna-
hold on to the point at least.
okay,
hold on to the
okay. Because I really don't know what you guys are talking. I know you're talking about.
Are you gonna eat?
Jesus
Oh my god.
Christ.
See, now I'm distracted, and
I've been good today. You're still being mean to me. I haven't done the baby voice
She-
once.
it never say
apparently
never.
there's a baby voice.
We'll try to coax it out of her later.
Don't get her started. You're gonna regret it immediately. Oh God, she's got the face happening.
But we have the ability to just mute her mic. If it gets too bad, we could just like turn that down.
They have to do that sometimes. They have to do that. Jeremy probably gets the most angry at me
Yeah.
From the baby voice?
from anything.
No,
Oh.
the
Just
baby
existing.
voice really pisses me off, but it's stuff that happens before we even walk into the studio. We're in the kitchen.
Jeremy will
hanging
just
out.
be like, "Stop."
Just sees you just like, here we go.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Fabian.
You know, I
Bobby.
think when you start working with people, it's almost like a weird marriage.
Well, it was way before I started working. I've
Stop.
just always hated this dude, but
Yeah, I'm an asshole.
he's the only dude that would sit next to me, so whatever.
So
Oh,
you just roll with it, you know?
I do. Obviously, completely joking. I do think. I was thinking about it, and I think out of everybody in this room that I've known a long time, I've known you the longest,
we go way back, Casey.
Yeah. which is interesting. I thought you guys would have known each other longer, but
No,
no.
wait.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while at this point, but
We're relatively new friends in a sense.
yeah. But yeah, Casey and I go back to freshman year
It
of
was
high
freshman
school.
year, right? It was
Yeah.
Well, we had like PE or
We had
something.
PE together
Yeah.
with Mr. Mo.
Mr. Mo.
His name was Mo, right? He was like that asshole PE teacher.
Not Momo.
I don't remember the. I remember so little from my freshman year. Mr. Mo. Who's Mr. Anybody?
He was
Does that sound familiar?
He
to
was
you?
the
No.
football coach. He was
Coach
the football
Riemann?
coach.
No.
That's
Coach
was,
A.
No, Coach A is track.
No, Coach A was football.
It was
No.
His name was Molyneux, and he abbreviated it to Mo.
Well,
Abbreviated it to
I'll
Mo.
take your word on it.
She's
I don't
very
remember.
confident on this right
I don't know
now.
if you were in the class. I was in the class with Evan Williams. He was in we both had Coach Mo. And I don't know if you were in that class, but he
Maybe
was
you were in a different class, but in the same block.
I just remember.
It was the same block.
But you sat behind me whenever, because
Yeah.
I think they stopped doing that a couple years in. But
Yeah.
at the beginning, we had to sit in.
Sit in little squares.
You would go to locker room, get changed, and then you would go and sit in it was here's where you sit. It was like elementary school. but
Yeah, in
we
the
were in high
in the
school.
first week they did the pacer test, and I literally tripped on my face. First week
you
of
really? I don't
freshman
remember
year.
that either.
You don't remember that?
No.
I have vivid
Oh, that's
memories
awesome.
of that.
Ah.
It was hell.
I wish I could have seen that.
PE was first block
Ooh,
my
Yeah, it was.
freshman year.
you wake up, you start sweating.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
That
I liked
sucks.
it. I took well, I guess it was weightlifting, but I continued to take the version of PE that I could throughout all high school.
Oh no, I opted out of that shit.
I loved it.
Quick.
And not because I'm not athletic. It was just because
Well, you're not
I
sitting
liked-
down. It's
well, yeah,
nice not to be
I was
down.
always so tired. I struggled to sleep, and I was working at a bar until 2 a.m. every day. So I would go
in high school?
Oh yeah, sophomore year, I got hired at Finn McCool's.
Oh,
Yeah, you remember all
I
that?
remember that. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember. No, I
So.
opted out of PE so I could take theater.
Really? Okay. I mean,
Well, you remember.
That's valuable.
That's way
though.
more fitting.
You remember.
Yes, absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
You remember me in high school, Casey.
Yeah, you were a trip in high school.
She's a trip now.
I'm a trip now. I like to think that I've calmed down a little bit, but I don't.
I didn't know you back then, so
You did. She didn't know me back then.
I think
Casey
in
did,
some ways,
but-
sure, but in other ways, no. Well, what do you mean by calm down? Because calm down doesn't mean it's a good or a bad thing. It just depends on how you mean it.
I don't know, man. I was just super Rachel Berry, in high
Rachel, but
school.
why do I know that name? What is that?
Glee.
That's Glee. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. I
You-
was like,
yeah.
I had wore my purity ring every day.
But you knew what you were about though, which is very respectable.
Especially in high
Yeah.
school.
And everybody liked you.
Well, that's very nice.
I've never heard anybody say anything bad about you. And,
Really?
absolutely. You were friends with everybody.
Oh, that's very sweet.
he's being very nice.
He's being.
I'm
very
I'm not. I'm,
No, I'm kidding. I don't think
I'm
think
just trying
that
to be
I.
honest. I was even trying to be nice. It's just I
No,
just
I
remember
didn't
everybody that I
hate
was friends
anybody.
with was also friends with you, and then it extended so much further
Yeah, we had a lot of
like-
mutual friends.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know anyone that hated you, Casey.
Really?
Are there people?
Dude,
Did
like
people
so
hate
many
you?
people hated me.
I had no concept of that.
I was a hated person in high
Really?
school.
I
Casey,
was
why you a
probably
dick?
a hated person. I just don't think anybody told me. I was really annoying, so I think that's probably why people
They were
hated
just
me.
nice, just like
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, smile and wave, boys!" Like,
People disliked me enough that like I've gotten apologies since.
oh my
Oh
god,
my
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, people like grew up and then were like I've seen a
Well, sometimes that means you're doing something right. And,
Yeah.
you
yeah,
know.
I think
Yeah.
I was just weird and quiet and but like also not quiet at like the wrong times. I was just a weird kid. I don't know. It was annoying.
Everybody was a weird kid.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
a kid
Facts.
sucks. Being in high school sucks.
high school was the worst.
Yeah. So,
Fabian though was in a band and like being cool in high school.
oh, that's cool.
I mean, like
I always looked
'Cause,
at
like,
because
the-
I always looked at you and Matt as like I was
our
like
shitty first local band.
Matt's fucking straightened hair covering his eyes. I was like, that dude's cool as fuck.
wait, what was the name of your high school
Yeah.
band?
Let's hear it.
Bring it
I'm
back. Bring it
I'm
back.
gonna- we're
Do
gonna
it, do it.
say
do
I'm
it.
gonna bleep it in the audio that I'm gonna submit, so no one can look it up.
I'm gonna say it 8 times.
I will bleep it every time.
Just say,
Say
it.
it. We
You're
want
really
to
not
know.
okay with
it.
it being out there?
No, I want to make it tough for people to find it.
Just,
Say it.
Just say it.
Say it.
It was We Scream War.
Yeah.
Now here's a very important tidbit. One word with an exclamation point at the end.
Oh.
We Scream War.
Like I wrestled a bear once.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Who were the members of that band, Fabian?
So it was me, Matthew Madariaga, who is
Oh,
current, who's-
Patrick's brother.
Yeah, who is, me and Matt still play music together.
Oh, cool.
In Revenant, and then Brandon Regal and Justin Leonard.
Justin Leonard, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know you. I know him, but I don't know Matt. But
No one knows Matt.
I know
This is
no
something-
one, so
That's weird that nobody knows Matt. I feel like everybody knows Matt, but like nobody knows
He's
Matt
the
at
most
same time.
keep to himself dude I know, which is not a bad thing.
yeah.
yeah, it's a small world, though.
Yeah,
That's funny. So, what happened to that? Just y'all moved on,
we were high school kids and we were in
Yeah.
a band, and
and then
And
it
you
just-
weren't.
then
and
we
then it
weren't.
just
We
didn't-
were like,
yeah.
man, we don't want to do this anymore. So
Yeah.
Bye.
There has not been a better band or couple of bands since We Scream War and Too Pregnant to Party and
Ooh.
who am I thinking of? Sirens and Silhouettes.
Sirens and Silhouettes.
Sirens and
Mhm.
Silhouettes.
Wait, so how did you guys meet?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Patrick,
Yeah, it depends because
Oh.
like
Matt. Me and Matt. I would stay at their house all the time. Casey happened to be there because he followed Patrick around for years.
Oh,
hell yeah.
And
Patrick's
then,
a cool dude.
And then realized that Casey's a cool dude. We'd all stay at Matthew Patrick's house. The brothers would go to sleep because their rooms are there, and we'd be in the living room. We would just chat for hours and be like, "Damn, it's daylight."
Yeah, I have that like I've had that with a lot of different people because like I was always like somebody's little brother or like viewed as like the young one because I was friends with I don't know, I was accepted by my brother's group of friends and
Yeah.
so I was always a little brother, and then it was similar with Matt and Patrick. I was like just another dude, but everybody was like older, so everybody would leave or go to bed or whatever, and then they would just like, and everybody's such a dick to me. You weren't, but everybody else was such a dick all the time. They would like pick on me because I was like a kid,
The little
That
brother.
happens when you're
and
the
then
little one.
and then they
Yeah.
would leave and then be like, hey, we want to play skate,
Yeah.
and we would just like play skate until 4 a.m. and like talk, and it was cool.
Oh,
Aw.
I don't know,
I
always
was
had that.
I was the little one too, but my brother was like 6 years older than me, and all the girls would just like be nice to me because they had a crush on him. They'd be like, "Shelby, you're
my
so
God.
cute. Where's your brother?"
Is he here?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you ever let anybody date him?
Well,
Or-
I was so much younger. They didn't give a fuck what I thought.
No, fair enough.
Well, it was like at church, all the high school girls would be like, "Hey girl, hey girly, glad you're living that godly life. Where's your brother?
Oh my
Where's
god!
your big bro?"
Oh,
At
gosh.
church, having the least godly thoughts.
Yeah.
I hope
Prods.
not. God. But yeah, no, it's just part of being the little one.
Yeah.
You know, you get shit on sometimes.
Always.
It builds character.
Tell us about your childhood trauma.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Where to start? Where to begin?
How did you feel about that?
This is gonna turn into a therapy session real quick.
Yeah.
We'll pass the microphone around to everyone in the room.
It's happened a couple. Andrew Hales, it almost turned into a therapy.
You know what? Honestly, it did.
I felt relieved after.
Well, you got to talk things out sometimes.
The weight was lifted off your shoulders.
No, I'm the older child.
Oh,
I have a younger brother.
So you got to pick on your younger brother.
Yeah, but he was
the enemy.
If you guys knew Ian, he's truly something.
He's
special.
a meme. Ian is a meme.
Yeah, he kind of is. Honestly, like it's kind of unreal that he's actually a real human being.
That he's a person.
He's 4 years younger than me. We look nothing alike. We briefly lived together. People thought we were a couple.
Oh, no.
That's gross. Because he looks older and I look younger.
Okay.
And then, like I said, you see me. He's like tan, sandy brown hair, just Mr. Gym and meal preps every day. He's a technician, but yeah, he moved to Florida. Has really amped up his ego. So he's doing good though, and I'm happy for him. But yeah, we got in a lot of fights growing up, big time. A lot of 5 stars on the back. That's how I'd get him to stop. I'd like turn around and be like, "Bam!" and I'd just smack him in the back, and that was that. Then he'd go cry to my mom.
Yep, that's the move, man.
That's how it be.
That's what you do. You just like you poke, and then when you get poked back, you cry.
Yeah.
We know what's up.
Yeah.
We know this song.
I'm over here. I was an only child, so I'm just like, oh, that sounds really cool.
I couldn't imagine.
It wasn't
Any
always
dynamic
cool.
sounds great.
Right. I have cousins upon cousins though, so I'm like, that's the way that works.
That's good.
That aren't actually my cousins, but they're my cousins.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
I guess I have more cousins now. I haven't thought about it. I have a bunch of like little cousins that are like 1 or something.
That's so cute.
I grew up with one cousin though, my cousin Ryan, who's like 33 or something. He's older,
Relatively close in age, though.
Yeah. We were able to like grow up together and hang out and
Yeah.
everything. But I haven't talked to that dude in a long time. Hey Ryan, text me. I haven't talked to you in forever. He totally watches this. So we have 2 options for something. First I want to ask. I'm going to break the wall here. I heard a ding dong. Was that 45 or was that an hour?
That's 45.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure while I was making the Pop-Tarts. I missed the first one. We have 2 options here. One is this thing, which is called the
Pail of Ponder.
I have to stress eat.
Or we have this non-licensed game that I acquired. What they do, they're both questions.
Yeah.
This is like playful, just like whatever, like it could be anything,
Okay.
dumb questions. These are really personal, and this would
Deep,
be like
super deep.
me asking y'all like deep ass questions about each other, but you have to play into like you have
Should we get
to
into
be real about it. Totally up to you.
All right,
whichever you prefer.
go big or go home.
Let's
That's
go big or go home.
Okay.
Let's get personal.
Let's do it.
Gonna
Wow,
make
we about to
baby
cry a
Ann
whole
uncomfortable.
lot.
I'm ready.
Shouts out Philip DeFranco for doing this on his podcast and making me be like, that's awesome. So now I stole the idea.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
Should I move the pail?
No, the pail can
Tail
stay.
can live there. Looks good.
Symmetrical.
Yeah.
So
fair.
I'm completely unprepared for this. I'm just gonna.
Did you not think that we were going to choose that?
I don't know.
He literally pulled it out like right before we started. It was like, I guess maybe we can do this.
I looked at some of the questions and I was like, should I like plan the questions? And I was like, no, that's kind of lame. I kind of want it to just be random.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows what's gonna happen with this question, right? No, it's just right your question.
Oh my gosh.
Damn it!
It's a blank card, everybody.
Oh, all the bottom. Okay. Professional. Oh, okay. I don't know either of you guys is. You're dating somebody, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be a question for you to her.
Okay.
Wait, for her.
She's asking you this question. So actually, you should just read the card.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh. How do you feel about the relationship I am in?
Oh, I really like it. I think that there's no one else equally as weird as you are and that can handle you and your baby talk on the reg.
Yeah, I agree. Zach got me this shirt.
Zach has loaned me a couple of his shirts that you don't want. So I love Zach. I love you guys together. You guys are just fun, happy, quirky little weirdos. So yeah.
He's the best.
Hell yeah.
I approve.
He's the best.
I'm not even gonna look at I'm just gonna.
Okay. What am I hiding?
Oh my
What
god!
are you hiding?
What does that even
What
mean?
am I hiding?
What's her deepest, darkest secret that you want to tell the internet right now?
Yeah, put it all out there.
You know a few.
Well, I mean, I can say something that you've been hiding in the last hour.
What is it?
Which is like the disgusting way that you scratch your throat.
Oh man! All right, what?
Wait, it's not an innuendo.
It's a genuine. Yeah,
you should just do it.
Okay, so whenever my throat gets scratchy, I just do this to clear it up, and it works.
It's horrifying.
It sounds like you're trying to hold in a laugh.
But literally, you just close your mouth, and you just.
Is that how pigs make
yeah,
noise?
Kind of. I don't know.
Is that like the same motion?
I don't know. You close your mouth and you kind of just like suck in.
You could just clear your throat like a normal person. And go,
Yeah, you've heard me do it 18 times on this podcast.
No. But
I'll do it again.
No, there's a difference between clearing your throat and scratching your throat.
Okay,
this
sure.
scratches like
But
back here.
Your throat being itchy is probably not.
What are you trying to say to me? Are you coming at me right now?
Well,
Yes.
I'm coming at you.
Wow.
No, but recommending somebody.
Look. This has worked for me for, how old am I? I'm 26. 26 years
26
now.
years, Casey.
My mother does it. Clearly, that's where I picked it up from. And I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, you made it this far.
I have another thing that you might not know about Erin by looking at her is that she listens to a lot of DMX.
I do.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
but
So,
can
I
you
do like
can you
DMX.
impersonate him?
I'm not
Right
I'm not
now.
gonna do that.
Oh my God,
Nope,
please, I'm begging you.
Please.
For my
Please.
own sake, I'm not
Everyone in
doing
the
that.
room. Can we
I'm
can
not
we
doing
can we
it.
convince her? Ready? Do it.
Do it.
I'll do it
Nobody
with
else can
you.
get involved.
We can go at the same
Oh
time.
God, I'm close.
Just say
but
X gonna give it
that's
to
what
you.
I was gonna do.
Okay.
But I'm like, I can't. Oh God. Okay. X gonna give it to.
That was noble. That was a noble effort.
I can't.
Thank you.
That was embarrassing.
You had to search for that button.
We're gonna just keep it rolling
Oh,
until we get
give it to
something
us.
that's awful.
Just keep giving it to them. I don't want any of these.
Oh, wow. This gets down deep. How do you think I want to be perceived?
Whoa.
That's one of the
You know
deep ones.
what? I think Raheem asked us this question when we did the Why am I blanking on the name right now? When we went to Raheem's studio. In the storage unit.
Yeah, when we did Truth or Drink.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sounds
yeah,
like
that
such a
thing was
dangerous
awesome.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
actually
we had a good time.
that was very modest for us.
It was very
I
it was
love
a
those
very
videos.
drinking wise.
modest
Yeah.
and platonic.
That's Raheem.
Just
Yeah.
on a side note, like
Raheem does
drinking
this.
games are always like scary to me because you never know where it could end up.
Well, you
Like
know.
because like
can
if
always
someone
say
just sucks
no.
at the game, like
Yeah. Well, on our show, we've never had anybody get trashed
That's
while
useful.
playing the game.
I feel like you just have to have the right amount.
We've never had anybody come on, a separate party come on and get trashed.
Oh.
Yes.
So what you're saying is one of you.
There's been
Sometimes.
a couple ones after the it was
After
season,
the fact.
It was season 1, to be honest. To be fair, it was to calm my nerves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And after they left, I'd be like, ooh,
I'm
I'm
feeling
a
this. Holy
little
shit.
more
Like, let's
drunk
hang
than I
out
thought.
before we leave.
Yeah. Like,
Before
we
we
need to,
Do you
get some food.
do you guys provide all the alcohol or do they bring something or?
That was a lesson that we learned.
Yeah.
Is we provided all of it season one, and it was a lot of money.
That sounds
got
really
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
We're not making money.
But
Yeah, of course.
but at the same time, providing all of it means that you can watch. Like you can be like everybody gets 2 or everybody gets 3 or whatever.
Well, what
If
we
somebody shows up
yeah.
with a 6-pack for just themselves and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
what's happening here? Or they show up with like a handle or something.
We
You're like,
we would ask them what they wanted,
We'd
and
get,
we
like, a
would go
12
pick up.
pack.
Yeah, usually that.
wow.
Or like if it was just one
for
person.
for everybody to share, and
Yeah.
then but season 2 we told them we had a call sheet just like you guys did,
Yeah.
and we told them like, tell us what you want, we'll get you a 6-pack, and then if you want anything else,
you bring the
gotta
rest.
bring it.
Yeah, that's
Smart.
because
It does, it does
adapting.
get expensive.
Yeah.
it did.
But yeah, so anyways, how does Shelby want to be perceived?
So, I think Shelby wants to perceived. Oh wow. I just fumbled all over the place.
no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I hope I don't fumble.
I just fumbled everywhere.
Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. This is what happens.
Oh my God. That was amazing.
This is what doesn't make the cut in the podcast.
Oh, that's staying.
It's just
all of
minutes
that.
and minutes of
It's
this.
just
That's
Jeremy
going
being
nowhere.
like, I'm going to leave if you don't stop.
Yeah, we're like, oh. Anyways, so I think you like to be perceived as nice, caring, stylish. You definitely like to be quirky and hip. I mean,
hate that
Shelby,
about
come
myself.
on. Like, look at
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I was
I was
asking
right.
for it.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't think you go out being like, you don't have like an intimidating, like you're not aiming for that. You have a welcoming presence. So,
Oh, thanks.
yeah, you're welcome.
It drew you in.
Do you think it's pretty accurate?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Fairly
This will
accurate.
probably be the last one of these because I don't know. where
Oh,
it's
I
going.
hope it's a good one.
If it's not, just don't read it, and I'll give you another one. I don't care.
When have you seen me as my best self?
Oh my
Never.
gosh.
I'm just
Well,
And alternatively, when have you seen her as her worst self? So,
We need both sides of
as we
this.
talk about alcohol.
That's fair. That's fair.
when I see you as your best self is, I feel like the one thing that we both relate on is like, we really relate to each other through like the work that we do.
Mhm.
And to me, that's when I see you at your best self, when you're doing what you love. Because Erin, you know, she loves the music industry. That's where she wants to be. It's like a lifelong passion for her. And so whenever you're like working a big event for the station where you've been put in charge of things,
Love it.
yeah, well, it's annoying, but I really see you like taking charge and being just very powerful. Like, you know what you're doing. People can rely on you. And I feel that way when we work together. I feel like you're really at your best self when we're like brainstorming, and, you know, she's like kind of the mastermind behind the set. I help, but with the aesthetic, like, it's really her. I mean, she like is so good at all that stuff.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's when I see you at your best self, is when you're doing those things. So
Thanks. That's
Yeah.
so sweet.
yeah, it's why it's so fun to work with you.
Yeah.
You don't
We're
have to say
business
the,
bunches.
You don't have to say the worst. I don't want to ruin that moment.
Yeah.
I
Um,
wouldn't be offended.
I mean,
I
if
can't
something
even
came to
think of
mind,
one.
okay.
I
I was
can't
like, I'm not
even
going to
fair.
stop you if something came to mind.
like I've seen you. I guess I've seen you bad, but I can't say I've seen you like at your worst.
I've seen myself at my worst.
Yeah, we all
for
have.
sure.
Yeah.
In a different way, just very, very. Well, no, it was bad. Anyways,
I won't ask about that.
it wasn't that. It was
Just tell me about it. What happened?
drinking related.
Okay.
It always is. Doesn't that just always bring it out?
It's pretty cringy.
Oh, we love the cringe.
Well, I came home very drunk, throwing up for Yush. That sounds bad. I don't. Not every time, but when I drink heavy, I tend to.
That's where it ends
It's
up.
been a while since you've.
Yes, it has been a while.
We're grown up now.
Yeah, I'm an adult. Anyways, it was just a rough night that I fell asleep in the bathroom.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into detail because even for myself in that moment when I woke up, I was like, whoa, this is a new low.
Maybe I should clarify. On our show, we don't force people to drink.
Yeah, we're not.
I don't think anybody got that.
I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
We have had people come on that were
don't
like,
drink.
we want like Coca-Cola and we will do that. I just want
We'll play with water and stuff. We're
Right.
not, you know,
yeah, just want to make
Enablers.
that
Yeah.
clear.
we like to have some fun and we like to drink. I like to drink.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I could stop if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No.
Sure, you could. it sounds like you could.
Sure, yeah. No, we can.
No, we've all had those. I think I've had 3 experiences of like blacking out, and it is not.
It's not fun.
Oh my god, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Once you start realizing like what all like how you might have been acting that night, like
two
dang.
of the times that there were, one of the times there was a photo,
Oh my god.
and one time there was a video.
I've had a
And-
couple.
Yeah,
videos.
and it was very
Oh yikes.
very embarrassing to
Yeah.
see the next day. And I remember the first time it happened. I was in college, And I got home after like throwing up all night, whatever. Patrick drove me home, thank God. And I crossed paths. I was supposed to go to class.
Yeah.
Crossed paths with my mom back when I was living with her. And she went, "Dad, you look fucked up." or she said something like that. She was like, "Dad, you look like shit," or something. And I went, "I fucked up." And she went, "Better get to class." And I was like, "I'm not going to class."
Yeah.
And went straight to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And that was the downward spiral of me not going to college anymore.
Well,
I was
Same.
like, I was like, wait, I cannot go to class.
Honestly, when you started that story, I was like, Casey went to college? What?
I went to college for a month or two, I think. And yeah, I was just going because like that's what you do.
It's really not for everybody though.
Yeah.
Like my brother didn't go to college. He ended up going to, well, I guess in a sense, in a way, he went to tech school. So he became
He like a trade.
He did a trade.
Yeah.
But that's so much better for him because he's much more of a hands-on person, and some people I think need that and they thrive in that. And
I think that's how like college should generally
yeah,
be anyways. Like there's so much gen ed stuff that really doesn't apply. And the trade schools are much more streamlined and just get you where you need to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah, same. Because sometimes you get a college degree and you pay a lot of money and you're like,
And you
now
don't
what?
use it.
Now what?
I enjoyed my time. I guess I am using my degree now, but it was hard to get here.
Yeah.
It was hard to finally get somewhere because, as you know, when you're applying to certain
Rough.
jobs, it's like, oh, entry level job, 10 years of experience.
Okay.
So you gotta
which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like you need to have masters and 10 years experience. It's like I've been getting up the masters.
Yeah.
What, you want me to be 40 whenever you hire me?
Yeah.
Like fuck off.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like college is slowly becoming just more and more antiquated because it's just not the same like model that we're living in.
Oh yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
It's stuff's too saturated. Like you can't just be out of college with a job that's going to set you. You still got to compete against everyone else, and it kind of sucks. So
Yeah.
it's just one of those things.
It's rough.
I don't think I'd ever like asked you when we were like friends in high school, but I always, if I had an opinion about how you seemingly were like educationally, that there's a better way to word that, but how you handled school, you always seemed like you were like somebody who got it.
Oh.
Like didn't struggle with grades and everything like that. That just was like my perception. I obviously could be completely wrong. But that's just how it.
I mean,
seemed.
I don't know.
agree with that. I didn't know you back then, but you definitely strike me as somebody that's generally like good grades.
I mean, I wasn't like a straight A person, but I mean, I ended up going to college. I like a 4-year place. I mean, I don't know. It's just I always had like I tried to have a balance. I wasn't like, because there's always the people who are like on principals list, straight A's all the time. I wasn't. I had to do like extracurriculars to really get through school because I was like, class is stupid most of the time.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I did school. The school thing, it turned out to be for me, but even then it sucked. So,
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. It was just about like, for me, it was about like getting through it and then finally getting into the workforce. So.
Yeah, and I don't think besides the PE freshman year, I don't think we ever had any classes together. If we had, you would have. I was very obvious with how I handled it, which was very poorly.
Oh, really?
I was late to every class. I was late to school every day. I think my senior year, I had over. I wish I remember. I should have written the number down or something because I don't want to like oversell it.
Yeah.
But it was over 100 absences in my first block.
Holy shit.
And I managed to still get.
Hey,
What is happening?
Your robot vacuum has been summoned.
I heard that. I was like, wait, what?
I hope the mics are going. Somebody needs to stop that because it's gonna knock over shit.
Guys, the Roomba is like, pack it up. It's time to go.
I killed it.
Its name is either Raccoomba 2 or RoboCop. But
Okay.
all right, well that just happened. Well, thanks for interrupting me. That's a good place to stop.
His name is Robo Rock, actually.
Yeah, we had one named Raccoomba, but that he kind of started dying, and so now he's upstairs and he can barely get the hallway before he just like starts crawling.
He's getting old.
Yeah,
You know?
so
It
he's
happens.
been through it.
Yeah.
So was there anything that we that you guys came here wanting to talk about that we didn't hit on? Do you have any questions for us? Anything you want to plug? Any of that stuff?
We thought.
What?
I thought they were going to ask us the question that we were talking about.
Oh. Yeah,
but I'm glad that we don't need that.
Well, no.
No,
now I
That's the
have
question
to.
now.
We don't need it.
We don't need it.
Because
But I want it. So
there's
what
not
was
really
it?
an answer.
There's
for
not really.
it.
We don't really have an answer for it. So, I don't know. I mean, just tune into On the Lawn, and we really. I feel like it's been sounding like we have like a problem with drinking. We really don't.
We'd like to clarify that.
We would like to clarify. Also,
The more you defend it, the worse it
it
looks.
does.
though.
It gets worse and worse.
listen. It's been 3 years since we started this thing. We were like 21 and 22 when we
It's
started.
just what
it.
you did.
It's at the time. We're grown up now.
We were a little older than that.
I was 21 when we met. When we first started talking about it.
I was no.
Yes, I was. It was right after I moved home from college.
What year?
And we were like, it was 2018.
All right, hold on.
Rough year. Understood.
Just do the math real quick.
Didn't really remember a lot of
my
that year.
math
But
sucks. Wait.
Clearly.
it was
I don't know. I was somewhere between. I was in my 20s.
it was a
somewhere,
rough
maybe.
year.
Okay. So I was probably 22 or 23 when
Yeah.
we really got this show on the road.
And now we're 25 and 26. So
Yeah.
it's a little bit different now. So I just want to clarify to any employers.
We've matured.
watching.
We're older now. We're not like that anymore.
We are sophisticated women now who
Yes.
make poop jokes on a podcast, which you should tune into.
Yeah.
On the Lawn, all of your preferred streaming services should be on there. And we're with the band on YouTube.
Yeah, if you want to check out some old episodes, they can be fun.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Will there be more?
Fuck, that was the question.
Oh.
Right
no.
over his
Ha!
head. Right over his head.
Well,
Oh damn! Wait, did you realize that was a question?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit. Well then, just don't answer it. Tune in. You'll see. Subscribe. You'll get hit the bell. You'll get the notification.
well, I'll just say, it's not gonna not. We haven't said no to it.
We haven't said no to it. It's just been when we were filming originally.
We're both working part time.
Yeah, so it gave
Fair.
us a lot more time, and especially with the setup and just the editing, everything that goes into it just takes way more
Right.
time than the podcast does. And now we both work full time. It's becoming, I think, harder for us to do that. So I think if it does come back, it might not be in the same elaborate setup as it was before.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, we want to do something though, because we even had a set list of bands that we
Yeah.
had already reached out to for season 3
I mean,
to
we were
begin
ready to
filming,
go.
and they were gonna be like really awesome. Like we had a really good
excited.
lineup that we're
So
really sad
excited.
about. So if it does come back, it may not be the same way.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be. Who knows? If it's not off the table though. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, the focus is the podcast.
Yeah. And if you're a band that's watching, reach out to us because every episode we do artist spotlights. So you can send us a song and we'll play your song at the end of our episode.
Yeah, definitely check out their podcast. Subscribe to everything that they have. We'll put your guys' socials in there
Great.
too.
Thank
so.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely check them out. You can start playing the song now, Ethan. I'm just gonna keep vamping until there it is. Now I'm hearing the song, and I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time, which is just talk pointlessly.
You're so rude.
Until I get to write. We'll write now.
Ooh, I like.
Were we supposed to stop?
You can keep
We cut
talking.
that part out, or we don't. Hey, baby, leave this in. It's
I will.
hilarious.
I'll make it as awkward as possible.